Hi, welcome to Yoga Download. My name's Channing and this is Wade. Today we're going to do a handstand workshop. So you will need a block and then place your mat up against a wall so that you don't have to be moving around too excessively. We'll start first in tabletop, so come onto your hands and your knees with your wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Round your back as you exhale, curving the navel in. And then as you inhale, open the chest and feel your sacrum tilt up towards the ceiling. Yep. Go ahead and do that 3 more times, allowing your chin to come in towards your chest, opening up and feeling the tilt of the low back. 2 more. See if you can keep the fingers nice and wide. And release into a comfortable tabletop position. From here, start to take big circles, leading with your hips. You can get really low, coming back towards the heels, or keep it fairly central around the hips, whatever feels good for you. Try to do 2 in each direction or 4, just to get into the body. If you need a little more, of course, take that. And then from here, lift up, cross your ankles, and sit back for boat pose, Navasana. So when to find the sit bones, you can move the flesh out if you need to. Feel free to hold on to the backs of your thighs and lift your legs up towards the ceiling. The height of your legs doesn't really matter. Just plug deep into your lower abdomen, lift up from the center of your chest, and draw your shoulders down your back. Spread your toes and plug down into lower region of abdomen. Hug and hold for 3. 2, see if you can lift the chest a little more. Good. And 1. Cross your ankles and step back into a tabletop position. Moving into wrist mobility. Spread your fingers really wide. So sometimes the fingers come together, right? But we want to keep them as wide as possible so we get that big suction cup grip through the palm. Once you find that stack, lean forward and back to increase the mobility of what it's like to bring the shoulders over the wrist. So when you lean back, it's going to back off that tension. But when you lean forward, that's what's helping you to come into your handstand later on. So remember, we want to do about 4 rounds for each. And then once you finish up that 4th one, come to your neutral spine and turn the hands around. So now fingertips face your knees. You are on your palms. And again, make sure the fingers are really wide. Same thing here. Lean forward and back. Draw your navel in and keep your shoulders away from your ears. Good. 1 more. And release. Regular tabletop position. From here, work to take your biceps. They like to face in. Roll them forward so the eyes of the elbows come together and then facing out. And play with that with the shoulder scoop as well, so you have some space between the shoulders and the neck. And then check out your fingers. Make sure that the brunt of the weight is in the fingertips. You're not just dumping into the heel of your hands. Give yourself a deep breath in. Tuck your toes under, find downward facing dog. So if this is your first one, feel free to walk out your legs, maybe shift the hips side to side, and get long through your spine. Come back to the awareness of your fingertips and your wrists and dig in with the fingertips. So there's a little bit of lightness there in the heel of the hand. Take your armpits and roll them towards your ears. Think biceps forward. This will give you that nice broad back. Full breath in and a full breath out. 1 more. Big breath in and a big breath out. Go ahead and jump or step to the top of your space. Inhale to a flat back, shoulders away from your neck and ears, just to pull the belly in and fill up the back space. Then exhale, hinge and fold forward. You can walk out your legs here, just stretching out through your back. Go ahead and lift all the way up to Tadasana, mountain pose. Press through your feet, squeeze your glutes and your abdomen, and then figure out what you're doing with your ribs. You want to draw those down, tailbone down, shoulders down. And then turn and flip your hands so that the palms face up towards the ceiling and your fingers are back. That's essentially your handstand position. See if you can straighten the arms and roll the biceps forward. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Fold forward. Inhale to a flat back. And exhale, release. Come into your tabletop position. So from your tabletop position, I'm going to have Wade sit back and turn around to show you the muscle structure within the shoulder blades. So if you could take off your shirt for me, please. Grab your block. We're working with scapular retraction. So he's in a nice relaxed state. A lot of people, when they pull their arms forward, their shoulders come up by their ears. And we want to bring the shoulders down the back and pull them away. So we have this nice deep connection and contraction. Can you do that 3 more times for me, please? Come forward and up, and then down and back. And as you guys go through this, make sure that the belly is in so that the spine stays strong and straight. Good. Relax. You can put your shirt back on. And next, we will do an L stance on the wall. Take your butt and place it up against the wall and stretch your legs out straight. Take a look at where your heels reside. That's where your hands go. So once you have that visualization, then you can go ahead and bring your feet back towards the wall. Place your hands where your heels were, fingertips facing out. Come back a little bit further. Go ahead and lift up and then walk your feet up the wall. So this is sturdy, it's not going anywhere. Hands come back a little bit more. You want your wrists directly underneath your shoulders, and it might feel like you're gonna topple over, or some of you may have an excessive back bend. You really want the wrists underneath the shoulders. From here, roll your biceps forward. So you have that same action that we did in the Tadasana. And then play with that shoulder retraction. So the shoulders shrug and push away. Do it one more time and relax. So it's a lot of weight on the shoulders in your L stance. You can come down. Allow yourself to relax for a moment. And then we'll do the shoulder shrugs in tabletop, plank, and L stand. But full shrugs. Protraction, retraction. So coming into your tabletop, it's kind of like cat-cow, but without the excessive back bend. So we're going to pinch the shoulder blades together, kind of hunch them up by the ears, and then draw them back and open the back body. So you're pushing away and pushing the heart up in between that space. Yep, and continue. 2, 3. Remember to roll the biceps forward. 4. Good. Do the same thing in plank. So you'll straighten the legs. You can walk out if you need to, if you need that extra space. Bring your heels in line with your hips, in line with your shoulders, and then play with protraction and retraction again. So we're kind of wrapping the shoulder blades over the spine and then pulling them as far away as possible so that you get this big, broad back. Good. And then do it in the L stance on the wall. More. Make sure your hands are back underneath the shoulders. Lift and walk your feet up the wall. And then play with protraction and retraction. So it might not feel like an excessive movement like it did when you were in tabletop, but you still want to get that shoulder loop going on. Do it 4 times and then come down and relax. Take a breath, relax, breathe. Breathing is important. So from here, go ahead and stand up. Walk yourself back to the wall and then plant your palms on the mat. Walk your legs up the wall. And then walk your hands in to the wall so that eventually your nose and your flexed feet, your toes, are on the wall. As you start to engage more, you can pull the wrists, the thighs, the knees until eventually just the toes, and then take one or both legs off of the wall. Good. To come out of this, you drop one leg all the way to the side and helicopter out. Good job. Take a rest. L stance with the splits. So for this one, we'll face towards the wall. And you want to come fairly close. Fairly far, actually. Fairly far. Fairly far away, so that you have the distance for your legs. Okay, so when you kick up into your downward facing dog, and then lift your legs and reach for the wall with your toes. Good. Hug the shoulder blades in, and then pull one leg away from the wall and keep the toes of the other leg on the wall. And you're trying to work towards having both legs as straight as possible. Reach, reach, reach out of the toes that are moving away from the wall, and have that same kind of reach coming through the other toes. Bring the legs back together on the wall, or come down if you need to. And we'll switch sides. So reaching one leg away from the wall, drop it down, think hamstring towards the ceiling. It's all right if the leg that's reaching away from the wall is kind of bent. See if you can keep the leg that's reaching towards the wall fairly straight. Tip, tip, toes. 3, 2, and 1. Release. Good. Relax. This is the one we want to be fairly close to the wall. So we're looking at, I say about 4 to 6 inches from the wall is where your fingertips will go. I'm going to place the butt on the wall to get the hollowness of the belly. Remember, biceps forward, lock the shoulders in, kick up onto the wall. Yep. And then push your butt to the wall so that now you can focus on navel into spine. And check out if you are pinching the neck. We want to keep the shoulders up away from the neck. Roll the biceps towards the wall, towards the direction of your fingers, and then see if you can bring the butt down towards your back even more without losing that open chest. 3, 2, good, and 1, release. Let's take a little shoulder stretch here. You can turn around. So take the right arm across your body and give yourself a little tug there, just to help open up all these muscles on the side. Serratus anterior, lats, rhomboids, a little bit of the traps. And then go ahead and switch. And find that same kind of pull. Keep the shoulders down and away from your ears. Now you can continue to use the wall as often as you need to. If you're feeling pretty strong in that and you want to try it away from the wall, then go ahead and plant your palms and find downward facing dog. Fingers wide, biceps roll forward. Lean forward into your hands and lift up. See how straight you can bring the legs over the shoulders and the shoulders over the wrists. Nice job. Go ahead and come forward and roll down onto your back. Hug your right knee into your chest and give yourself a pull. Allow the inner thigh of your left leg to roll down as if I was stepping on it there at home with you. And pull the other thigh in towards your belly. One more breath. And bring it across your body, supine twist. Twists are always nice, especially if you're really bendy in your back, so they'll decompress the spine. Pull your hip away from your shoulder. away from your armpit. And then as you find that suction of the shoulders onto the mat, let gravity help pull your knee across your body. One more breath. And then go ahead and release and pull your left knee in as you extend your right leg long. And same thing here, we want to hug the thigh in towards the belly and allow the right inner thigh to roll down. Keeping the hips nice and square. See if you can pull in a little bit more, good. And then bring it across your body, supine twist. Shoulders stay flat. Pull the hip away. So you can do that muscularly, just allowing the body to respond to your thought. Or if it is helpful, you can take your hand to your hip and push the bone away from the abdomen. Keeping the seal through the shoulders to the floor, allow gravity to help pull the leg across your body more. And then hug both knees into your chest. Feel free to rock side to side or forward and back, whatever is most comfortable for you. And then eventually roll up into a seated position for Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Move the flesh out from your glutes. And this is just to release your back, guys, so don't focus so much on hands to the toes. Let yourself drop down and over the legs. And feel that release. And go ahead and sit up, nice and tall. Relax, feel accomplished. Hands to your heart. And bow. Namaste.